and Nat here from Days of Glory Shopworks, and on this episode, Natalie is going to change the camshaft in the 400 Big Block for the Fargo. So last we left it, we were doing floor work and a combination of welding between myself, Natalie, and her daughter Brooke, who is coming along really well as well. I'm proud of the two of them for never having welded before in their lives. And we have a floor. It's all been braced in nicely, setting good, patched in. We have a rocker panel, and it is not a rocker panel for a 1968 Fargo, but trying to find Fargo Dodge D100 rocker panels, they are expensive. And I happen to have a spare rocker panel for my 88 Ram Charger, so a little bit of creative curving on the bottom edge of it, and it's turned out pretty good. Now that's about where we're going to leave this side of the floor, because we have a whack in the cab here, and we're gonna have to then pull that out when we start doing the real body work on the truck. This is just to make it safe, so we're not flintstoning it down the road. We do have some work on the passenger floor to do, but that's coming after we get the brakes done and the engine installed. So without further ado, Natalie, have you ever changed a camshaft?
Nope.
There you go. This is gonna be fun, guys. So we're doing a camshaft install, and what do we want to put in but the cheapest camshaft we can buy? Slightly performance orientated. Here it is, Summit Racing part number 6400. It's a hydraulic flat tappet camshaft, Summit lifters, HT2011, 16 of those. Camshaft specs: lift on the intake and exhaust are 444 intake lift, 466 exhaust lift with the factory 1.5 rocker arm ratio. Duration at 50 thou lift is 214 intake and 224 degrees exhaust. And it's ground on a 100 and... I can't find it here. But it is ground on a 114 degree center line. Yeah, it's not actually listed, but that's what it says on the website. So 114-degree center line. It's going to be a fairly baby cam, but it will give it more throat and way better torque curve through the RPM up to about 5 grand. So it's exactly what we want for this truck, for a good runner on the street. Reliable, easy starting, and nothing crazy worrying about, you know, lack of vacuum for vacuum secondaries, carb operation, all that kind of jazz. So here we go. First step for Nat, she's got to soak her lifters in oil, and that's where we're going. And note to self, guys, she's doing it right here. She's installing them all top up, like standing straight up. Because I've seen people soak them on their sides and everything. How is the air supposed to work out? How's the oil supposed to work into the lifters if they're on their side? So always standing up with your lifters, even with hydraulic roller, which are a little bit more of a bear to get set up, but totally doable. Alright, so what we're using is Shell Rotella T4, 10W30, and she's just going to soak them until it covers the lifters completely. Probably just a little bit more. There you go. And yeah, you can even see some of the bubbles working out of them right now as we speak. So that's great. Those lifters can soak. I'll probably put a cover on them and just let them do their thing so they don't get dirty and everything inside. And I'm gripping the engine down. Okay guys, so we're looking at our timing chain, and you know, that looks pretty nasty, you know, like ooh, but have you ever measured your timing chain? Working it out, the factory manual allows about 11/32 of an inch of movement on the cam gear. It's worked out in degrees and blah blah blah, but anyway, it works out about 11/32 of an inch. Now that would be pretty loose to me, because that would be right about there of distance, and that's way too much for me. But we're gonna do a quick measurement on this ourselves. Just eyeball it up, starting at the 2 with this dot on the chain, and stop moving my fingers. So from the 2, in the middle of the 2, we've got 3/32 of an inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. Yeah, so boom to there. It's 3/32 of an inch, which is well under factory spec. Alright, so that's that. Camshaft is out. Now, inspecting the cam bearings, and I was not surprised actually. I've seen a lot of cam bearings that are 30 plus years old. These are 50 years old, 40 years old. Anyway, the cam bearings are showing signs of starting to flake apart. You could probably leave the old camshaft in undisturbed, never pulling it out, and everything would wear just fine, no problem. But once you disturb them, everything comes loose. So right here you can see the bearing tin, the outside tin or whatever is gone, and it's down to the next layer. There's no brass or copper showing, but it's still down to the next layer. That bearing looks fairly okay, but this guy, he's got a dig in him, and he's not bad. The back one is showing signs of excessive wear, and things like this happen when engines sit for a while and they do dry starts and all that jazz. Like a motorhome engine sit all year long, so probably just get in it, start cranking it, and fire it up. Never priming the oil system, that kind of jazz. So anyway, I'm calling a success on Natalie pulling that camshaft out. We're gonna order up some new cam bearings for it, and maybe a timing chain and gears, we'll see. But anyway, we're gonna order some cam bearings. We'll install the cam bearings and then put the new camshaft in. Alright guys, thanks very much for watching. Really appreciate it, and stay tuned with more to come.